Right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that this lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shawab Amawan back at you with another lesson. And title of this lesson is going to be called It's All About Your Father's Lineage. All right. And a couple of reasons why I came out with the video. One of the reasons why was I was watching one of the brothers' video from, I watched it about a week ago and I just thought about it. Brother from LA camp, what was his name? I forgot his name. But the one brother from the LA camp, Shalom, brother Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Yeshaya. And he was talking about a certain article on how they want to get rid of lineage, basically, which is a way of, if you really think about it, they actually been trying to get rid of that for a long time, just by us going through, Jeremiah 17:4, that we will be discontinued from our heritage. They're trying to get rid of us knowing who we are, through our lineages. That's why they don't want you to know that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true Hebrew Israelites of the scriptures. And that's why they want to call you, bywords and call you, Hispanic, Latino, Negroes and Black, and Indians and all that. And that goes into, them trying to get rid of nationality. They don't want you to really know who you are. And another reason why I brought it up, this video, and it shouldn't be long, but because I seen some girl had posted up some shit and I forgot to actually screenshot it and I lost it. But she had posted some shit about, it's not about lineage, and she tried to use this exact scripture right here. Let's get that real quick to start it off with that. Titus 3:9. And it says, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. All right. And when it goes into that, man, it's not literally talking about just your lineage, it's not just speaking about, don't ask foolish questions about lineage, and you can't use lineage to determine somebody, because Numbers 1:18 tells you how you are to know what where does your lineage come from. But what it's talking about here is talking about foolish questions as in stupidity. Like, people go to fucking, what is that shit called? Salaki, I forgot to actually, let me do that real quick. Share screen. Give me 1 second. There you go. Let me read that again. Titus 3:9, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. All right. And what it's talking about in genealogies is that, to avoid foolish questions and genealogies of stupidity, like you got ancestry.com. These people will tell you all types of bullshit just to mislead you from what your true heritage is, man. You see? They'll tell you that you're half this, half that. There's no such thing as you're half this and half that. All right. Everything comes from your father. Your mother has nothing to do with it, man. All right. You have to understand that men are the ones that carry the X and Y chromosome. All right. Women carry X and X. All right. So everything comes from the father. That's why when you are born, all right, they put on the birth certificate, you take up after your father's last name, because everything goes to the father's lineage. You understand? So when they bring this, they try to use this scripture, man, they're using it in the wrong sense. All right, because it's really talking about, things like ancestry.com, or when you're saying, oh, I'm half this, I'm half that. So when people ask, well, if my mother's this and my dad's that, wouldn't that make me this and that? But that's the foolish questions we're talking about, all right? Because it clearly tells you in, that's right, brother, Shalom, YAHAWAH'S, YAHAWAH'S, Barakatah. It clearly tells you in Numbers, let me get Numbers real quick, Numbers 1 and 18, and it says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. You see, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of names and of the names from 20 years old and upward by their poll. See, so everything came from the lineage of your father, and that's how you knew, where you're from. All right. And basically, I have on the notes here that they were talking about propaganda, basically erasing nationality. And they were saying that national identities are fading and we must embrace geocentric mindset. You see, and that's how they want you to think. They want to tell you more about, all right, let's say your father's Jake, all right, and then your mother's Edomite. All right, but you were born in, let's just say, Romania. They'll come and tell you, well, you're Romanian, and it's that's funny. Hit the chime on that. But the thing is that you have to understand that they'll even they'll mislead you with that. You see, with that type of information, because it's gonna go based on where your father was. All right. That's why if you look, the 12 tribes of Israel, let's just take that for example. The 12 tribes of Israel, when all the 12 tribes, all right, when each one was born, all right, what were they? They were all men. All right. Not one of them was a woman. And we all descend from one of those tribes. All right. One of those men. So that's how you know it goes to the father's lineage. Let's take, for example, when you go into Genesis, I think it's like 6 or 5, when it's speaking about the generations of Adam. All right. And it starts breaking down. All right. It'll start talking about all the men that came, that were born, and it was this one begot that one, this one begot that. And whenever they mention a daughter, all right, it will say the daughter, and then it will say of the father. You know what I'm saying? And then it will go into and it will keep going into breaking it down into the men. Same thing when you go into the genealogy of let's just say Matthew, when you're reading the genealogy of YAHAWAH'S, all right, the generations, it talks about all the men. You see, always is going to talk about the men. And if a daughter is mentioned real quick, but then it goes into she came from this father. You understand? From the house of this father. So a woman is not mentioned in the scriptures for genealogy, man. It's always the men that are constantly being named when genealogy is being broken down. All right. So everything comes from your father's lineage. All right. And they're really trying to get away from that. They're trying to mislead our people and confuse our people and tell us, it's all about where you were born. Well, if you grew up in multiple places, what are you, those multiple places, basically? And that's just a way of them getting rid of, that national identities. And that's because they don't want you to know who you truly are, and they don't want you to know who these devils are, who these nations are, because everything goes according to I have it right here. All right, it goes according to the table of nations. You see, and the table of nations is only 18 nations. But in today's society, I think they say it's like 195, 197, something like that. Different types of, uh nations and things like that. But the scriptures only speak about 18. So you either descend from one of these 18 nations, all right? And the first eight is, Shem, all right? And then you got 9 through 12 will be Ham, all right? And then from 13 down, that's considered, Japhet. And that's where everybody is descending from, man. All right. But again, they'll try to confuse you with all these different types of nations. All right. So you don't know who you are. Let's see if anybody got some scriptures. All right. So I was trying to see if I could really find some info like on genealogy, through the etymology online. It really wasn't saying much about men. All right. But genealogy says line of descent, pedigree. You see, pedigree. That was what I kind of really found, and it tells you right here, pedigree. They are declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. You see, so that's how you know it goes into a male. All right. Same thing. I was trying to find something with lineage. All right, didn't really say much. All right. But once again, it's plain when it tells you in Numbers 1 and 18 that everything is from the Father. All right. And that's why, like I said, when you were born, that's why we take after our father's last name. All right. Everything's going to always go back to the Father, the Father. And that's how they can tell. All right. And then you got, if you think about it, all right, because it says by the houses of their father, the house of their fathers. Well, husbandman, all right, means the master of the house. All right, husband, the genealogy of it. So a male head of a household, master of a house, you see? So that will be the reason why that everything goes into the lineage of your father, because he's the master of the house. He's the master of the household, man. You see? So it's annoying when you just hear people, I'm half this, 1% this, 2% that. That should be driving me nuts. It's simple. Where's your father from? But you got to also remember you have what you call, matter of fact, let's bring that out, the wheats and tares. All right. You got the wheats and tares, which let's go to that. That's in Matthew. Leave it to Matthew, right? Yeah, to Matthew. Let me get it in here. Oh, there's another thing I had up right here too. Let me see if I can go back. I had looked up that exact scripture, Titus 3 and 9, and it said a genealogy, a record of descent or lineage. And then I tried to see if I find something if you go to the root word, but it basically said the same thing over here. To draw one's origin, derive one's pedigree, going into what we just read in Numbers 1 and 18. All right, let me just knock these out real quick. Matter of fact, let me bring the scripture out since I had it too. This is another thing right here. It says, First Chronicles 5 and 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, all right, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel. And this is the point right here. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright. You see, the point is the genealogy is not to be reckoned, all right, because that whole genealogy, that whole thing goes back to the men, man. It's going to always go back to the man. All right. Let me knock a couple of these out real quick. Oh shit, I knocked him out too much. Slocky, give me 1 second. Let me bring it back up a little better. Like I said, you have the wheats and tares, man. You have to understand, because it doesn't go about no skin color neither. All right, everything is about your spirit, man, and your father's lineage. And you have to understand, if it wasn't about your fathers, right? Why is it this that they have this this about the wheats and the tares? Because the wheats and the tares was about, the tares are the ones that came from the lineage of Esau. Because when we were in captivity, you had our women, all right, that were being raped by, you know, the so-called white man, all right. And because they were having kids, that made their kids a tear, you see. And it went to them being a tear. Why? Because their father came from the lineage of the wicked, so that made them a tear. They were not a wheat. All right. So if it wasn't about your father's lineage, why would that parable even come into play, man? All right. Why? Because it's all about who your father's lineage is. All right. And they were doing that heavy. That's why we come in different, you know, tells you in where is it? Salakia, what am I thinking about? Jeremiah 12:9. It talks about how we're a speckled bird. All right. It also tells you that Ephraim is a cake unturned. You know, that's why we come out different shades, you know, different types of browns. All right. Light brown, dark brown, you know, that's because, you know, we were actually, you know, we were mingling with these other, you know, these other nations, man. But, you know, once again, it goes back into all your father's lineage, man. All right. So that whole thing about the wheats and the tares, if your father was an Israelite and he was with a woman that was of the other nations, your child is going to always be an Israelite. All right. But if your father was of the wicked, was of one of these other nations, all right, and had an Israelite woman, all right, that makes him a tear. All right, and those tears are not going to be saved, man. All right. Let me get let me get that real quick. Deuteronomy. Yeah, to bring out a quick point. Deuteronomy 5:9, and it says, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, thy power am a jealous power, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." All right, going into what? The fathers, man. All right, you're never gonna see something about the iniquity of their mothers or anything like that, because everything goes by the father's lineage, man. Another one to bring out real quick was Isaiah 14, basically saying the same thing, kind of. All right. It says was talking about Esau. All right. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers." You see, going back to the bloodline of their fathers, man. All right. Starting with, you know, as a matter of fact, let me get that. Genesis, what is it, 36 or 38? 36. Yeah. All right. See how it tells you right here? Genesis 36:9. "And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir, and all those bloodlines that go back to the bloodline of Esau, all right, the father of all the Edomites, all of them are going to be destroyed, man. You see, look, even when we're speaking right here, just as I'm here, tells you right here, the names of the sons, it goes all into the sons. You see, these are all bloodlines that are coming from from men. You know, and you might have someone explain real quick. You see Esau's wife, this and that. You know, they'll just come out and they'll say, you know, for the moment, you know, they come out real quick and that's it. And they keep on going. You know, it doesn't say anything about these women being special. They'll always go back to exactly the father's bloodline, man. And you see that many times throughout the scriptures when generations and genealogies is being spoken about. Let me see what brother got. Just like how Mexican or Puerto Rican isn't a race. Exactly, man. That's not a race because that's all just bywords, man, that were, you know, put upon our people as a curse, you know, because there's people of all colors in those countries. Exactly. Going back into the you know, it's not about the skin color, man. All right, because we are speckled birds. You know, we might look like these other nations and true Israelites, and then you're gonna have people that look like us, you know, like the Israelites, but they're of the other nations. You know, so it doesn't go into skin color or anything like that. It goes into, you know, the spirit beareth witness. All right, the spirit beareth witness, and everything's going to always go back to your father's lineage. So when you hear about family trees and ancestry.com and things like that, you know, that's just straight nonsense, man. That's what it means when it talks about give not into avoid foolish questions and genealogies, avoid stupidity like that, man, because it clearly tells you in the scriptures that Numbers 1 and 18 tells you that it's all through the father's lineage. And it's, hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua changed not. All right. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not the author of confusion. So he's not about to tell you one thing and tell you a whole nother thing later. It is what it is. And that's how it's always going to be, you know? And that's something that has misled our people in so many ways. You know, that's why they think they're all these other fucking nations. All right. You got blacks thinking they're fucking, you know, the so-called blacks thinking they're Africans and things like that. Yeah, because they listening to bullshit that, you know, Esau teaches us. That's why it tells you the knowledge of this world is foolishness to the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. That shit is just straight foolishness, man. If you would read and just do your actual research, I don't even want to say research, but if you will actually read the scriptures, man, you will learn. And like I said, throughout the scriptures, every time it's breaking down generations and lineage, is talking about men keep getting they keep getting the same thing. And when you see a woman being spoken of, it'll go into she came from the father of here, you know, daughter of the father of bang, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's how it is. All right. And just like I said before, the 12 tribes, we all descend from them 12 tribes, and all them 12 tribes were men. Not one of them was a woman. The tears be like, I'm Hispanic. Yeah, that shit drives me nuts. You know, I ain't gonna front. Before I was in this truth, I used to say the same shit. And it sucks. I be catching myself sometimes talking to certain people, and because I used to say that shit so much, well, it's not that I don't, it's just that you can't tell these motherfuckers, oh, I'm an Israelite. They'll look at you like you crazy. And then they start, you know, unless it's on my spirit to bring it out and let them know so I could, you know, teach them something, which most of these people, you can just tell by the conversation you're having with them. If you were to bring it out, you're wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? But I also tell you in the scriptures to try the spirits too. But sometimes I catch myself, it's usually when it's like an Edomite, one of these other nations. Oh, what are you? You know what I'm saying? I just be like, oh yeah, I'm Latino. You know, because I already know with these other, you know, these other nations, they'll start asking some crazy ass questions, and they ain't even ready for the knowledge that we about to give them. You know what I'm saying? So it's pointless to speak to them. But when it be our people, you know, I tell them straight up that I'm an Israelite. But when I tell them that, they looking at me like, how you know Spanish? You know what I'm saying? That should be crazy as hell. These people be on a whole nother level, man. But you can't, this truth ain't for everybody, man. You can't educate everybody with this truth. As a matter of fact, this truth is supposed to be a secret, man. You only speak to those when the spirit is put on you to speak to somebody about it. You know, I've learned that the hard way, man, because I remember when I first started in this truth, I tried to tell everybody that, you know, that was, you know, Israelite, you were Israelite, you were this and that and that. It just wasn't working. Everybody was just like, what? What you mean? This and that. And then you try to explain it. They're like, yeah, you bugged out, bro. You know what I'm saying? So then that's when I learned to, you know what? Can't even fucking talk to these people and let them know, because this ain't meant for everybody, man. This truth is definitely not meant for everybody. So you got to know how to just hold your tongue on certain points. You know, if the spirit is on you to speak about it, then hey, you know, bring it out. Let somebody learn, you know, and when that word comes out, that's either for you to be marked to come into the truth, or to be marked for you to be, you know, destroyed. So that's why it's pretty much it's up in the air when you're speaking with people, man. But what did I want to bring out? Oh, another thing I wanted to bring out. I believe it's in let me bring it out through here. First Corinthians. All right, because you have to understand that eight, and it says, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. And that's how important a man is, how important that everything goes to that lineage of the father, man. All right. And that's speaking about how, you know, the man was created for the woman. All right. But you look at this part as a spiritual sense, man. You look at it as, for the man is not of the woman. Yeah, the man is not of the woman, because a lot of people be like, well, you came out of your mama, so your mama got to be treated, you know, you definitely come from your mama. No, you don't come from your mama. You come from your damn dad. You come from your father. You see, it says, for the woman is not, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. All right. Spiritual sense talking about, you see, that we come not of the woman, but we come of the man. All right. Man is going to come from the man, and woman is going to come from the man. All right. Without us, all right, we ain't making it. You ain't making them kids. And of course, you need the woman to make the baby too. All right. She plays a role in it, but she just carries the seed. We're the one that carries the whole. She's the one that carries the baby for the 9 months, but everything comes from the seed, our seed. You see? Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. It was just something that was kind of, that's how my grandma acts. I look just like my dad. Well, of course. Well, that's the thing. That's another thing. Yeah, we might have features of our mothers and things like that. All right. But at the end of the day, if you look at every single person, the feature that comes out the most is from the father, always. All right. Even the personality wise, man, comes stronger from your father. You know, now if you grew up without a father and things like that, your personality might be more on your mother's side, because yeah, you grew up around your mother the whole time, so you learned a lot from her ways. You know what I'm saying? But even those that didn't grow up with their fathers, man, you'll hear the mother later, or maybe even a grandmother or aunt be like, you know, you do things just like your father. You know, he didn't even have to be in the picture, and the father comes out of him, you know, because why? Everything's going to go back to that lineage of the father, man. You see? So it wouldn't matter what these people, you know, come out and say. It's just, and like I said earlier in the lesson, they're really trying to get rid of your national identity. And all that is because these nations, mostly Esau, all right, is trying to hide himself, like he's always been trying to do. Hide himself so you don't know who he is. All right. Because as long as we go according to the scriptures, all right, we're gonna always know that Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right, we're gonna always know that these other nations are going into captivity and things like that. So they trying to run away from that. And like I said, mainly Esau trying to run away from his identity. That's why he was a fugitive and a vagabond, someone that runs away and hides from the persecution, man. He know he got to be destroyed, so he don't want nobody to know who we are. That's why he came and mingled with our nation, all right, with all the Israelites, trying to put his seed and rape our women, all right, to mix, and that hoping that he will lose, that he will hide himself between our people, man. You see, but those people that were all that Esau ended up taking our women and putting seed in them, all those kids are gonna have to be destroyed on this side, man, because they're gonna go at they're a tear. They're a pure tear. Ain't no hope for them people, man. It don't matter how nice they are. Yo, I'm seeing some weird shit on this. You never seen nothing like that. My live is doing some weird shit on the top corner. And right now the lives are doing weird shit because of the that whole shutdown they just did with Facebook and with WhatsApp, Instagram, and they got the whole shit going on with even with StreamYard right now. A lot of brothers are having trouble loading up the StreamYards. Matter of fact, about 3 days ago, 4 days ago, I was having a problem with my StreamYard. It wouldn't let me go in. I had to reset my shit and go into typing in all my information again. I'm like, what the heck? They're coming down on us hard, man. We in them times. But yeah, that's pretty much the point. It wasn't gonna be long. It's not something that you have to sit here and speak about hours for. This is simple math, man. Everything comes from the Father's lineage, and that's it. We don't care what these people are bringing out on this side. Like I said, the knowledge of this world is foolishness to the eyes of YAHAWAH'S. So they want us to, listen to their knowledge and go by the ways of their society on how things are brought out according to lineage and shit like that. Shit is weak, man. They probably updating their terms and congregation, and conditions and algorithms. Yeah, they might be doing that too. But I know there's just a lot of shit going on with, you probably seen it on Instagram. How the brothers are posting all the shit that's going on with these different platforms, man. I'm pretty soon. I'm gonna make a little video. I gotta make me a Odyssey account. Got to make me a brand new tube. And what's the other one? You got Odyssey, brand new tube, and BitChute. Got to make new ones, because they're about to knock out this YouTube on a whole nother level. Usually when you see them shutting down things like that, the platforms, especially the main platforms, YouTube comes around with it too, because they've done it a couple times. They've done it with what do you call it, with YouTube a few times already within this year, man. They had knocked them down, and they didn't knock it down for days, but they had knocked out for a good 5-6 hours. People were bugging out, but Lord willing, I make them account soon before all that shit goes out. You can't stream on what? Oh, on BitChute, you can't stream on that. See, I haven't used none of those, so I don't know if you could or not. That would be pretty ass if you can't do that. But I'm sure there's ways around it. That's why I probably go to that brand new tube. I believe Odyssey. I think you could stream on it. When you stream it, that's going into what? That's going into the doing lives like I'm doing right now, right? I will basically have to record my whole lesson and then just upload it to it, which that's annoying. Yeah, that's annoying. I hate when they do shit like I used to do that back. I used to just do all types of videos, but then that shit takes forever to load up. That's when I just started going on lives. I was like, man, because live, you'll just download it for you right then and there when you're done with it, you know. But brand new tube is pretty much like this, but you know, it's a little bit more lenient right now. You could go in on there and talk a lot of you could talk a lot on there, and they're not really messing with people yet. So that starts getting, you know, messed with. But yeah, so that's the point. All right. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, I'm gonna end it off on that note. I'll probably do another video right after this in a couple minutes, Lord willing. I don't know if I should do a video study, but yeah, that's the point. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. The Water brother for tuning in. Anybody else that tuned in, the Water for always listening. And Lord willing, it was edifying. Shalom.